And the backup usually takes all the scout team reps and tries to work on his game throughout those reps they get.
You had mentioned you were hoping to get David Blau some first-team reps just because he's new. Does that throw things a lot off of what you would normally do?
Not a ton. I think it's only fair to him if he is, pressing the action that he's at least repped our offense a few times this week going into the game.
What's the latest on Colt McCoy?
Still in the protocol, but feeling a lot better. He'll be out this week, but he definitely felt a lot better today, which was encouraging.
With what was your relationship like with Tom when you first showed up with New England? There's always talk about some of these veteran quarterbacks, not that he'd been in the league a long time, but some of them are better than others with guys that come in. How was he with you?
Yeah, he was awesome. I think you can see the friendships that he's had over the years. I mean, he's been good to all those guys, and that's why, whether it's Castle or Jimmy G, Brissett, he definitely tries to mentor him and work with him, and so he was phenomenal. And every guy that's gone through there, I think, would say the same thing.
You mentioned in Hard Knocks last week that you had some regrets over how you kind of approached your playing career. Can you be more specific about that? Was it just you just wish you would have worked a little bit harder, or what was it?
Yeah, I think so. I think, watching him work and how almost maniacal he was about it, that's what it takes at that position to be that good. And at times I probably was trying to just run around with Tom Brady instead of try to be Tom Brady. Going up there to Boston. But, I just think when you look back, it's such a short window, it's such a small opportunity looking back that definitely could have put more into it. And I think, you just got to live with that regret.
How much have you taken kind of that experience and parlay that into what you're doing now as a coach and not wanting to regret anything?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. When I decided to go full speed ahead into coaching, I just wanted to make sure I didn't have any regrets as to how much I put into it and how fast I could try to climb the ranks and become the type of coach I thought I could be. And so that definitely was kind of a second opportunity to try and take advantage of a really good opportunity I had getting into college ranks, right out of my playing career, really.
10 years doing this, do you have any regrets from how you approach your coaching career?
No. I think, you learn every year as a coach and you try to get better, but I really don't have – there's certain players I've dealt with throughout that there's experiences I wish I had back with players. But as far as just how I've approached it, no, I don't. Just try to attack it, and any opportunity I had, just try to make the most of it.
Did you become the coach that you wanted to be?
Remains to be seen. Yeah, remains to be seen. I think I always wanted to be authentic, and try to do things my way. And I was at Coach Leach's funeral yesterday, and that was brought up a bunch. He did it his way on his terms, and that's something that has always inspired me. He never listened to, hey, you should run the ball more, you should do it this way or that way. He always was had a strong belief in what he was doing and the people he was doing it with, and so he definitely influenced me in that area.
As we head into the last home game, last chance for fans to come out. What would it mean to you? What does it mean to you for the fans that are going to come out this week and support you, even if it hasn't gone all that well?
Yeah, that'd be tremendous. We have a great group of guys, and I know the season hasn't gone the way we all would have liked, especially the fans and the home games. But our team, like I've said all year, the professionalism, how hard they've worked, the thing they've battled through, the adversity they've faced, they're still in it and putting their heart and soul into it. And so that'd mean a lot to them to have a great crowd on Christmas.
I'm sure it was a heavy experience yesterday, but is there anything you can share from the funeral in terms of stories that were told or just the overall mood given Leach's personality?
Yeah, there was some good ones I hadn't heard before, but it was great to see just all the lives he touched. He changed so many people's stars in that deal, whether it was coaches, players. I mean, we had Bob Stoops speak, Lincoln Riley, Sonny Dykes was in there, Dana Holgerson. I mean, you can go on and on. Gardner Minshew spoke. Their current quarterback, Will Rogers, spoke. And so just to hear whether it was Lincoln Riley, who I played with, or their current quarterback, kind of the consistency with which Coach Leach touched lives and coached and mentored. It was a special day.
Seems like any car ride with him was eventful.
Yeah, you would cover a myriad of topics, the last of which was football, there's no doubt. But special man and one of the great innovators of the game.
Going back to Tom, is there anyone from your experience coaching or playing with that holds a candle to his work ethic and what he's been able to do?
No, not just the total commitment, lifestyle, sleep, eat, study, work that he's put into that. I mean, it's insane. Like when I got there, I remember thinking I thought I worked hard, and then I watched what he did and put into it, and it was just on a whole different level. And to watch where it's come, there's a reason he's the best there ever was, and it'd be hard to catch him at the rate he's going.
You get Trey Susan like approachable NFL quarterback. What makes him able to play at this level?
Yeah, he's one of those guys. I hate to use the term gamer, but he's got a lot of moxie. Plays with a lot of confidence. Teammates respond to that well. He's mobile, can move around. He had a couple of throws he'd like to have back, but he had a couple of scoring drives. And like I said, after the game, I just want to see how he does with some reps. It's not easy to go in there without any reps, basically throughout the entire season with the first team offense. So excited to see how he can perform with some reps this week.
How much can you take from what you did in the preseason, even though it's several months beyond that?
Yeah, that's why he's here. I think we like what we've seen at times, and like I said, we just got to protect the ball on a couple of those throws. But he's been in the game in some very adverse situations so far, and I want to see him start a game and see kind of how he carries himself and how he performs.
What does it look like for Beach right now? Still day to day?
Yeah, he's day to day. I'd say Marco and Beach are both day to day right now.
After the game, Watt said that these last few games are when guys can put stuff on film. They're basically trying out for other teams. Do you bring that up to guys, or just kind of that just implied kind of known that that's kind of?
I think it's implied, but I touched on it this week. I thought he did a great job, JJ, after the game, talking about that. And if anybody, can speak on it, he can. And the way he's practicing and performing, he's backing it up as well. But there's definitely recency bias. Those GMs across the league aren't going to go watch the first 3 games. They're going to watch the last 3 and see, particularly with a team that's not going to make the playoffs, how you perform, how you work, how you play when there's nothing on the line. And so these games are very meaningful to really all of our careers, coaches and players.
You mentioned Marco and Beach. What about Antonio? Same thing?
Same thing. Yeah, I'd say all those guys are day-to-day. Didn't do much today, but I'm hoping by Friday we can see if they'll be able to go.
You mentioned the other day about sometimes adjustments even during the week. How difficult is that when you don't know if a guy's going to play, and then a guy gets hurt in practice? That's happened several times. How much does that affect the whole plan as you go in, especially when you have to change in the middle of the week?
Yeah, that's not easy, but it's a lot easier than how we've had to change a few times on Sunday, when the quarterback gets hurt or, one of the main receivers or the game plan's going his way gets hurt. So I think, coaching-wise, guys have done a good job being flexible, but it definitely kind of throws a wrench in the plan when that happens.
There's been a bunch of times there where guys have left, aside from guys missing games, the guys have left early in games. So that's what you're alluding to, I guess.
Yeah, that's when it gets a little tough is when you start a game, you got a plan kind of based around one of your better players, and it doesn't work out. You got to readjust on the fly and try to make the best of it.
What's the challenge with the Tampa Bay defense, and what have you seen from them? I know you mentioned the front the other day, but just overall.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the better defenses in the league. I think Coach Bowles is one of the top defensive minds and has been over the last decade and a half or so in this league. And just the multiple looks they show on third downs, the pass rush, the linebackers are as good as anybody in the league, and then their secondary is playing at a really high level. So they don't give up much. Last week, there was a bunch of short fields. That's how Cincy got back in the game, but they're playing at a really high level right now.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
know you're going to have the whole game kind of blank slates of coming in late with whatever's already happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think just being able to get the reps during the week of practice, getting familiar with the game plan, being able to have the communication with the coach about what I like, what I don't like, things like that, and then obviously getting the timing down with these receivers and building chemistry with them during the week. I think those things will be really big for us this week, and a good opportunity for us to get those things right going into Sunday.
How do you kind of look at this? I mean, regardless of how it happened, I'm assuming you came into this league hoping at some point you were going to be a starting quarterback, and now it's here. Like, kind of how are you wrapping your head around it? Or are you trying not to think about it in those terms?
No, I mean, it's hard not to think about the opportunity that's here, that's kind of presented itself. Like I said, obviously you don't want to get it kind of how it's happened with guys going down with some injuries and stuff, but just going about it one day at a time, focusing on things and controlling things that I can control. But then, at some point, it's an exciting opportunity, and, I always want to let myself feel that excitement and feel that a little bit just so I can enjoy the moment, but at the same time just being focused and ready to go.
Is it helpful for you that you've been in the league a couple of years now already rather than it happening in your rookie year, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think having the few years under my belt, at least just knowing how the NFL operates, how a week of practice is, that sort of stuff. It'll be my first start, but I'm still, I'm in my fourth year. So obviously there's things that, that come with the first start and everything like that. But I think just kind of having that experience of having been in the league for a few years, it helps me out a little bit.
First start against Tom Brady, it's pretty special.
Yeah, definitely excited about that. He's the GOAT, and there's no two ways to put that. But, I just got to focus on what I can control. I'm going against their defense, not against him. So that's kind of the way I try and look at it. But, it is cool to kind of look back and realize that, starting against him the first time.
I know you can't think of it probably too much, but just the whole thing with Brady, Sunday night, Christmas Day, I guess, assuming you just have to put that all out of your mind, but that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there's, primetime game, Christmas Day, like you said, going against Tom Brady, Buccaneers, the type of players, star power that they have on their team, on their defense. It's a big opportunity for us as a team, as the Arizona Cardinals, to be able to come in and, do well on Sunday night. So that's what all we're focusing on. It's the next game on our schedule, and, we got to treat it as such, even though there is, the glitz and glam of primetime Sunday night, all that type of stuff.
Do you have any extra friends and family coming in for all the glitz and glam on Sunday?
My parents were already coming in. They were going to come in for the holidays anyways, so it kind of worked out. So it'll be my mom, my sister, and my dad. They'll be here, but that's it.
Does that change your mindset when you have your immediate family in the stands, or have you done it enough times in your life that it doesn't really matter?
I feel like I've done it enough, but definitely for the first start, it'll feel good to know that they're there. Honestly, more for them. I know if they weren't here, they would be freaking out at home. So.
What are your memories of watching Tom Brady? He must have been really small at a certain point when he was playing. He's played this long.
Yeah, I remember one of the first Super Bowls I remember as a kid was him against the Eagles. I want to say that was 2002, 2003, something like that. But yeah, no, that was one of the first Super Bowls I remember, like sitting down and really being into the game and watching it, and as opposed to just being a kid running around, Super Bowl night having fun. But his record, his career speaks for itself. I think there's not much else you can say about that. Everything he's done, he's a GOAT. So.
You mentioned going against that defense. That's obviously the real challenge. What have you seen from that Buccaneers defense as you've studied them a little bit?
Oh, they're fast, real fast, physical defense. And those are the type of things that we have to be ready for. Be ready to just execute our game plan, what we do, and be detailed and exact in what we do, and not forcing things down the field, just taking what we can get, and then being able to stay ahead of the sticks and be precise. Those sort of things are things that we've harped on a lot this year, and I think against this defense with how they play, they're fast, physical, aggressive. They got real good linebackers on the inside, some good stuff that they do blitzing that it'll be tough for us to be able to detail that out during the week and then be able to execute on Sunday.
With your history, obviously playing at Penn State, did you ever have a chance to run across Franco Harris, and do you have any memories of him?
Yeah, I did. Actually, that was the first thing I saw this morning when I woke up, and I remember I have a picture of me, my dad, and him, actually when I was in college playing out here in the Fiesta Bowl a few days before that game. Got a picture with him. So definitely sad news, hear of his passing. Penn State legend, NFL legend. I mean, everything that he's done. So definitely, thoughts go out to him and his family, and it's definitely a tough loss for, the football world in general.
You haven't gotten a ton of work with D-Hop and Marquise. What have they been like this week and helping you get up to speed?
They've been great, just communicating with them out on the field and what we've been going through. And then as we get the end of the week, doing some full speed reps, just going to start working chemistry with them, knowing what they like, how they like to run a route against certain leverage coverage and where they like ball placement and stuff like that. So those are things I'm about to get up to speed with quickly with those guys, but they've been great, communicate with me, and we'll keep that going through the week.
Speaking of communication, you got a lot on your plate just for you. Are you trying to help David out at all in terms of trying to learn this stuff so he's a little bit prepared? Or
yeah, definitely. Working with him has been great. We we watch tape together, and for me, it kind of helps me to learn things even a little bit deeper, to kind of take on the, I don't want to say a teaching role, but if he's asking me questions, I kind of got to be able to have those answers for him. So it's making me stay on top of my game and the game plan and everything that I got going on. And he's been great. The systems he came from, coming in, jumping right in, learning everything, just immersing himself fully and taking advantage of whatever opportunity comes, and being communicative with all of us, even with Colt, Kyler, Cam, and Kliff. Just we're all open, talking about everything, and helping each other out. So it's been great.
You kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but what kind of opportunity is it for you to start getting all that on tape this late in the season? Who knows what can happen in off season?
Yeah, no, it definitely is a great opportunity, obviously, for us as a team in the here and now. But I mean, even JJ kind of touched on it post game for us after Denver, that these next 3 games goes a long way for a lot of guys' careers, whether it's here or somewhere else. So, just the opportunity that it is, it'll be good for obviously for myself, but for a lot of people too. I mean, that's what our team's doing right now. Everyone's everyone's playing for jobs, playing to keep their career going, whether it's here or somebody else. So it's there's a lot riding on it for a lot of guys.
What has it been like for you to learn from both Colt and Kyler, different styles, different perspectives, levels of experience? How have you been absorbing it all?
Yeah, I really just try and absorb it all by kind of sitting back and listening and watching both of them, how they operate. Like you said, different perspectives from each one. So just trying to listen and pull things from each person, how they go about the week, how they study, how they go about learning the game plan, communicating with Kliff, talking with the receivers, talking with the O-line, like those sort of things that I've been able to see each one do, and I've been able to learn a lot from both of them. And even just, being able to stand on the side and talking with them. Even some of the games when Kyler was out, he's got the headset on the sidelines, and I was able to kind of stand next to him, and we're kind of going through it at the same speed as Colt was in playing. So it was good to learn from both those guys, and definitely fortunate to have those guys in the room.
Trace, you've seen this offense and kind of the struggles they've had here and there, inconsistencies from the sideline. What's kind of your view of what you're seeing out there on offense when you're watching?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to be detailed and execute. Those have kind of been our biggest issues, is having negative plays, and getting behind the sticks early, and then we're putting ourselves in bad situations. Whether it's an alignment issue, assignment, execution during the play, or even if it's just trying to do too much. I think some of those things that we just kind of zero in on everyone doing your job, all 11 of us, one man, playing as an entire unit, and executing together.
You went in, obviously, in Denver, but getting your first start, you talked about the glitz and glam. How do you minimize maybe any nerves or butterflies you might have when you're running out of that tunnel?
Just stay focused on the task at hand, and not letting, everything start, not looking at the entire big picture, just focus on one thing at a time. That's something that I learned early on, and when I was in high school, college, just whatever the moment of the game or whatever it might be, just staying focused on being in the present, so that that whole big picture doesn't seem to overwhelm you. And then a little bit of the effect is just kind of taking it all in, and letting yourself kind of feel those nerves. Because my dad always said, if you're not nervous, it doesn't matter to you. So it's a good thing to have those nerves and that feel getting ready to go into a game.
Thanks, Trace.
Cool. Appreciate you guys.